half of all women have a guy on the back burner just in case things go wrong in their current relationship. Physician and national mindful living expert Dr. Romy Mushtaq is here to talk more about that.
And I have to sit here and defend all of us women, but this is the latest psychology research. I was just as shocked reading this data. More than half of women who are married and categorize themselves as happily married.
Wait a sec.
They're married.
Happily married women are doing this?
Have a backup plan. And what is a backup plan? It means you have someone on the back burner.
So a specific person they've identified.
A specific person that they've identified, and in most cases it was either an ex-boyfriend or an old friend who never made it to the dating category.
Get out of town.
Unfortunately, yes.
I'm Courtney Ryan, and today we're going to be talking about the rise of single women. So 45% of women are expected to be single and childless by 2030, which is wild when you think about it. That's almost half of women. So I started doing research for this, and before I get into kind of the meat and potatoes of the video, I want to point out something that I thought was kind of funny.
I'm pretty sure most people have been seeing online that at least 50%, I heard nowadays is more, but at least 50% of women have a backup plan regardless if they're married or not. Again, this information is from Mrs. Dr. Romy and many other sources. I'll put my sources in the description. Also, I've been hearing at 2030, almost 0.5% of women will not only be single, but also childless. And Mrs. Courtney Ryan is not the only person who's been saying this. I've been hearing a lot of sources saying this. Again, the links to those sources will also be in the description. Now, all this is concerning, but the Bible actually did talk about this. And in that day, 7 women shall take hold of one man, saying, "We will eat your own food and wear our own apparel. Only let us be called by your name to take away our reproach." Now, what does that scripture mean? Well, to put it in easier terms, in the last days, there's not going to be a lot of good men, especially men that follow the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. So, because of that, a lot of women are going to be with some men, but it's going to be multiple women. And that part of scripture that says, "Let's be called by your name," is talking about that man's last name. In this video, when I say modern woman, I am not talking about all women. Basically, if you do not relate to these Bible scriptures I'm putting on the screen right now, then I am not talking about you. Now, they give reasons why that 50% of women or more have backup plans and why almost half of women is going to be single in 2030. They give reasons why. And I looked at some of the reasons. And some of the reasons I do agree with them and I'm about to say, but also some of the reasons I'm also going to add myself as well. The biggest reason that woman isn't saved, so she's going to say and do things that's going to be bad and go against his word. That modern woman do not have a father in her life, which is important for a son or daughter to have their father or mother in their life, because your father should be the example of how a good man should be and vice versa for a mother. So when you don't have one, or nowadays in most cases, both of your parents, you won't know what a good man or a good woman really look like. Having super high standards like this guy needs to be this tall or this guy needs to make X amount of money. The rise of social media, for example.
And the problem is social media has just made it too easy to have such a type of behavior. And what is your mindset telling us if you have a back burner? It's telling us we don't know how to communicate well in a relationship, or when the going gets tough, instead of maybe learning important skills from a professional on how to cope with all the ups and downs that always happen in a marriage, we're saying it's okay to run away.
Yeah, I mean, the first thing that comes to my mind is that shows just a total lack of commitment.
I agree.
And honestly, it may not be physical cheating,
right?
But if this isn't psychological cheating and emotional cheating, it sure is darn close.
You know, Tom, you bring up such a great point. point. And what happens when we're emotionally or psychologically cheating, it's one wrong thing happens in the marriage or a hard time, and it could easily turn into a separation and a divorce.
Absolutely.
And we want to save couples and marriages, right?
And it also, if one wrong thing happens, it goes from maybe social media contact to, hey, let's meet somewhere.
You know,
like
absolutely.
that.
I agree. And you know what it is? The grass is always greener on the other side.
And they're choosing men who are horrible. They're choosing men who are the most good looking, who are making the most money, so of course have more options, and treat women like crap. And then after they date the crappy guy, they're like, oh, well, all men suck, all men are trash. I want a man who treats me right. Well, you're not giving the men who treat you right a freaking chance. And are all women like that? Absolutely not. I have so many women in my life who are with incredible men. They did not go after them because of their salary or their looks. But now social media is just perpetuating this like, well, I have to live this luxury lifestyle and go after these men who make all this money. Because I think there's a big difference between standards and preferences.
The conditioning of many forms of media. Now, what do I mean by that? How many TV shows, movies, games, or music will you see the stereotype of a guy being weak or dumb and a woman actually being smart and actually standing up for things like that? It's been so many forms of media throughout the years and even now that's been pushing that stereotype. The main reason why they're pushing that is conditioning, so people can be like that. Trying to find a perfect man, which is literally impossible because we all have sinned and fall short of the glory of Him. And two, the only perfect man that was on this earth was Yahshua HaMashiach, Jesus Christ, and He was not sent to get a woman. The biggest reason why I think all this stuff is happening, besides people not being saved, is the rise of the feminist movement. Now, some people think that the feminist movement started in 5, 10, or 20 years ago. But if you actually do your research, it actually started in the 60s. But I know most people ain't gonna do the research, so I'm gonna put both of these videos on the screen. Both of these videos will be in the description, or if you're watching this on a platform that does not provide links, ask me for the links and I will try to give it to you. Satan is the god of this world, and he's always going to do things that go against him and his creation. Let's look at an example. When Adam and Eve were in the garden, why do you think he specifically went to Eve for the fruit and not Adam? Here's the thing, Satan do not care for women to have equal or more rights to men. What he wants people to do is basically goes against his structure. So that's why you're seeing a lot of push of women recently. Now, I'm not saying there's nothing wrong for a woman to follow her dreams and follow her heart, but don't put your career and your dreams over your man. Whoever's going to be my future wife, she's going to be very blessed, and I'm only going to have one wife. I am not having multiple women. Because if you really read the Bible, most of the time, where different men of Yah had multiple women, it really didn't end up that well. I'll even put some scriptures on the screen so you can read and actually find out what I mean by that. I know I said a lot, but basically what I want to say, mostly for the woman watching this, is don't be like Eve in the garden and let Satan get in your ear. Do what Yah God tells you to do and be in the rules that Yah God tells you to do and wants you to be in. And I know some people may say I am this word. I want to say I am not. I'm just repeating what Yah is saying in his word. And so if you have anything against what I'm saying, go to his word or go to him about it. Again, I'm just restating what he is saying. Again, I really hope this video helps somebody. And again, I hope all who watch this have a blessed day.